What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about KTA, Keeta the Cheetah. It is the 28th day of October, and here we are sitting at about 49.8 cents now with 10 hours and 2 minutes left in the day. Hit that like button, you guys. Subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and let's get into it, all right? It is, like I said, the 28th here, and what a wonderful day it is because even though we hit the lowest points we've seen from our high, I think we are getting to the end of this consolidation. It is possible, and there's some scenarios I want to talk about where we could go lower, but we are looking for movements higher at any point now. And when we do move higher, I would expect continuation based off of this move here, right? Like from a low to a high there, wherever our low point is, let's say that it's here. I wouldn't be surprised at all if this next move took us above $1. That's all I'm trying to get to. And here we are at 50 cents now. So some miraculous price action over the coming days, probably, you know, around the first or the first couple of days there of November, if not over the next couple of days here. Looking at this on the 1 hour time frame, zooming in right now, here we are at about 49.8 cents. It's a good looking 1 hour candle so far. We've got 1 minute left. Let's see how it holds. Looking at this here from an overall perspective, it almost seems as though we have an ABC correction, right? ABC. But typically with ABC corrections, they're symmetrical. Typically, they're actually pretty symmetrical. So the fact that this leg is shorter gives me a little bit of a let's call it anxiety, I guess. Gives me the thought that maybe we do have lower to move, right? Let's just see from a high to a low here. The expectation there might be that we go to about 46 cents, which, hey man, if we take this from a low to a high, 46 cents is actually right at this golden ratio. And it's right at prior support, it's right at prior resistance. It makes all the sense in the world that that's where we would go if we were to go lower. Not only that, but if we're looking at this here, I'll take away this line so there's less distractions. Typically, and when I say typically, I mean 90% of the time, whenever you hit the 1272 and then you reject the 886 like this, you go to the golden ratio, no questions asked. So turning around here is actually very uncommon. It's very, very uncommon. It happens like less than 10% of the time. And if we were to get above this high here, I would think that we validate this as a low. So here we are at 49.85 cents now. If we get a 1 hour time frame to close above effectively like 50.5 cents, 50 and a half cents. If we can close above 50 and a half cents on a 1 hour time frame, we validate this as a low and we likely do recover from here and start to break out. If, however, we return back to, let's say 48 and a half cents or lower, we're very likely going to 46 cents. And that's okay. We can go to 46 cents. Go lower. It's fine. It's totally fine. Because whether we're expecting the price to move up like this or it goes lower and then moves up like this, the difference here is like 12 hours, right? It's not that big of a deal. Go a little bit lower, provide some bullish divergence, whatever it is, and then continue to move up. Looking at the 1 hour RSI, if we were to move lower, we definitely would provide bullish divergence. The stochastics, in my opinion, suggest that we do move higher. This is very encouraging, actually, because if we move higher over the coming hours, we likely do close above this point, in which case we validate this as a low. That'd be nice to see. And then the MACD here is crossing green. You have bullish divergence here as well. So that's kind of nice to see. It could be the low. It very well could be the low, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. You did bounce off the 1272 from this low to high, so you are at areas to find support. If we're looking at the 4 hour time frame, we do have bullish divergence on the MACD. That's actually very severe bullish divergence right there. I shouldn't say severe. The price points aren't that big, but it looks good. It looks really good is what I mean to say. And the oscillators, these lines here, you're right at the zero, right at an area where you'd actually expect to bounce. In all fairness, you can, this oscillator here went a little bit above the zero. You can go a little bit through the zero. Let's see if I can find an example. Something like this could happen or this could happen, and you're still finding significance at it. So we could go lower, but sometimes you do bounce right here when the orange line hits that zero. So we'll see how it goes. If we do go lower, again to 46 cents, this will cross a little bit, but then we'll probably scoop the zero and provide this as an area of support still. The zero line right here, this line, the zero line, is not a direct line to find support at, right? It's just the area. So as long as we find support here between now and like the next day or two, I think that we're fine. And I really do think that we're going to find support here. If we were to go lower, we'd only provide more bullish divergence, and that would likely propel us to higher prices. It looks like on the RSI, it looks like we have higher lows overall, right? I guess we have lower lows here, to be fair. I guess we do have lower lows here. Maybe we do go lower. So we've got a lower low here and a lower high. Maybe we do go lower. Maybe we're not done yet. These downtrends typically end once we're in the oversold zone. That 46-cent price is looking a little bit more appetizing. I don't know what to think because I'm getting bullish signals and bearish signals, and these are both very serious signals, I think. So the stochastics are man, the stochastics are not helping either. No, they are. Okay, so they're saying the stochastics now are saying that we'd move higher, but we have to close this 4-hour candle here. If we close it here, we have half this candle left, an hour and 57 minutes left. If we close this candle red, if we come back down and reject red, we are going lower, okay? But if by the time you watch this 12th hour, look at the candle to the time, right? It's the 12th hour of the day on the 4-hour time frame. If this candle closes at 50.1 cents or higher, then your stochastics are saved. They look good. But if not, if we close red, we are likely going lower. Okay, and again, lower to the tune of 46 to 44 cents. Nothing intense, right? Nothing crazy. And then we should recover. Looking at this overall, just as the price as it is, it does look like a bull flag to me, right? A little bit of a move up, and you're flagging out here, right? It looks like a bull flag to me. If it is a bull flag, and we'll just pretend it is for the sake of the argument here, let's pretend that it is, from a low to a high here. If this is a bull flag, the way you'd measure it is just like this, and you would intend that the target goes all the way up to here, that the price goes all the way up here to about $1.10. Let's see if we can make sense out of $1.10 target, or in other words, regardless of what we do here, whether we move up, down, sideways, whatever it is that we're doing here, when we do progress higher, because we will progress higher soon enough, where might be the next target area affected? From a high to a low here, my suspicion would be that we do see something on the lines of a, let's say, $1.07, $1.07 there, to $1.30, something in that kind of area, right? The 786, 886, that makes sense to me. If we don't stop there, it's possible we stop at 80 to 91 cents. That is the golden ratio zone, but typically, I just wouldn't expect. I would typically expect that we stop at the golden ratio, but with what we're doing here, oh no, I got rid of the fib, high to low. With what we're doing here, I really wouldn't be surprised if we did push our way all the way up to about $1.10, give or take a little bit of change here, right? $1.30, $1.07, somewhere in that range. That makes sense to me. Prior resistance here, prior resistance there, prior support right there, and it's all right at your 786, which is not the next fib level to interact with, but when you consolidate like this without hitting the 236, these are the moments where you do pass through the golden ratio. So mark my words, this is a fine assumption to make, I think. And the way that we have it drawn here would be that this happens, by the first few days of November. It could happen earlier, maybe it's a week later, whatever, but that's the next intended target area. It all depends on when we find our low here. And look at that, we're already back down below 50 cents. So it is very possible, depending on how this 4-hour candle closes, it is very, very possible that we do see 46 cents. So just be prepared for that if it happens. Let's look at the stochastics here. They're still fine, so I guess you could even close here, and this is fine. But if you close red, you're definitely not fine, okay? If you close red, and when I say not fine, again, I'm being dramatic. It's not a big deal, and then you move up, right? Everything we're talking about, all the upside, it happens. It's just now instead of $1.10 being your expectation, maybe it's $1.08, which actually lines up even better with that 786 area that we're looking at. So KTA looking positive here, looking really good. We zoom out. Actually, I want to look at the daily time frame. Daily indicators, as far as the RSI goes, you're right at the 50, perfect area to bounce. Stochastics are bullish, and the MACD is ready to go. What about the 4-hour? What's the MACD look like? Yeah, you're ready to bounce, man. You look so good. If it's not today, then it's tomorrow. If it's not tomorrow, then it's the next day. But soon enough, KTA will bounce. It will definitely bounce. If we're looking at this from a high point here, from a low point here, the expectation would be, and it is, that we probably go all the way up to about $2.52 to $4.62 somewhere in the month of November. So that's about a 5 to a 9x expectation in the month of November. That's what I have. So I got nothing else for you guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. Very much expecting new all-time highs. Very much expecting prices well above $2, if not even above $4 over the next 30 or some odd days there. I'll see you on the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.